Alex Gamble, mate, welcome to the show.
Pleasure.
Thank you for being here. This is actually a bit of a treat. Usually I'm actually just sitting in my office by myself, staring out a window, just talking about protein or something. This is going to be a little bit more interesting. What do you think of the GC so far, mate? Well, how many times have you been to the coast so far?
Yeah, a bunch. Good handful, yeah. I love Gold Coast.
Yeah.
So good.
What do you love about it, mate?
People are so nice.
Are they?
Yeah, I reckon.
That's it.
People are so nice. Weather's good. Coffee's good. Gyms are good.
Gyms are good?
Yeah. Everyone over here is so fit, though. Makes me feel like I'm fat and I don't train. Especially when we train at Worlds, I'm like,
Yeah, look, that's probably not the most ideal place to go, is it, if you want to feel fit and strong and whatnot? Yes, it's definitely the top couple, 1% and whatnot.
Yeah,
but the weather's actually been kind of miserable the last time you've been here.
Not amazing, but yeah, it's worse in Perth. So.
You bring the bad weather, mate.
That's what I do, mate.
Mate, question that I just want to ask quickly before we delve into things, and I think everybody wants to know, is how do you feel being responsible for ruining Koopy Mayo for literally, it seems like the whole nation?
I feel horrible. Look, guys, I got a confession to make as well. Yesterday, we hit a session, and me, the boys, we went to sushi. We put back quite a few plates, all right? And we did demolish. There was a lot of Koopy Mayo going around. That's all I'm going to say. And then we went straight into Woolies after. A lovely lady, shout out to whoever you are, if you ever hear this, come straight up to me. I love your videos. Because of you, I stopped eating Koopy Mayo. I felt so hypocritical.
Yeah. Well, it's probably more the message, hey, be aware, just you don't have to remove it. But
sure.
You've certainly shut down a few sushi trains around the country, I believe.
Yeah.
But mate, in terms of that, I think one of the things that I'd like to discuss with you, having two coaches next to each other right now, and I suppose our mission essentially is the same. We're trying to help people get from A to B, whether it be weight loss, whether it be gaining motivation, whatever the goal happens to be. I'd like to know from your perspective and the clients that you've worked with over, how long you've been doing this now, mate?
11 years.
11 years, for sure. So you've gathered a lot of data like myself.
Yeah.
What would you say the difference is between an individual who achieves their result and somebody who doesn't? Because the reality is, and this is the truth, not every single person on the planet is going to achieve their results. So I'd love to know your take on, what are some of the characteristics, I suppose, that successful people in terms of goals carry?
Yeah, for sure. I think one of my favorite sayings is we were just talking about, it's an Alex Hormozy saying. He says, there's no silver bullets, just 100 golden BBs or 1,000 golden BBs. I probably butchered that. Yeah. But basically what I mean is, there's no one thing. It's like, if you do this, you'll be successful and get results, lose fat, build muscle, etc. There's probably with fat loss, muscle building, I think it's a bit simpler. There's a handful of things you have to do, but if you tick those boxes, you'll be sweet. So with our clients, we see the most successful people that get results. Number one is realistic expectations. They don't come in and go, I want to lose 10 kilos in the next 3 weeks. I'm like, okay, well, that's not going to happen. They come in and they have a goal, pretty clear-cut goal, but they're put the steps in place to get there, and they set a bit of a time frame, or maybe we do, because we find that helps, but they're not so stuck to that one specific goal, and it's realistic, If I want to lose 10 kilos, we're like, cool. We'll probably need 3 months, maybe 4, depending on how fast you want to go. Some people want to lose fat faster than others. That's cool. Some want to lose a bit slower, have a more sustainable approach. That's also cool. So realistic expectations, number one. I would say number 2 is obviously consistency.
Yep.
Number 3 is compliance.
Yep.
So the simple things. And then, number 4 is just having a clear-cut plan, I think, and sticking to it. But I'd say I know it sounds too obvious, but it usually is the obvious answer, so.
Well, for sure. And, it's probably a good point in terms of achieving a result. Often people think that, okay, well, the harder it is, the more complex things are, the more moving parts, the better my result is going to be.
And we actually find with people, the less overwhelming we make it, the better results they get. So people will come in, just as one simple example, they'll be looking for a meal plan where it's different foods every single day. Surely I can't eat the same things 2 days in a row. And we're like, if you have that mindset, in my opinion, you're less likely to get results, just because it looks good on paper. And it's a fancy way to market and sell new meal plans, new foods every day, this and that. But the reality is, if you have to eat something different every single day, 7 days a week, next week, completely different foods, it's a nightmare. You got to go to the grocery store, buy so many ingredients. Food gets wasted because you can't use it all. Meal prepping, cleaning, like so much to it. Whereas our clients that just find a few plans that work well for them, keep it simple, stick to it. Okay, I'm getting a bit bored now. We change it up. They stick to that. They get the best results because it's less overwhelm. And sometimes I think it's because people think it's the same with us in business. Sometimes it's if we're not doing more, we think we should be.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just doing the things that need to be done over and over again, even
On
if it's not
repeat.
exciting.
Yeah.
It's like you just got to do it anyway. You don't want to do steps, but like you should.
Yeah. And it's a good point. It's so important for everybody to understand that less is more.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
I don't know about you, but I know that if somebody provides me with too much information, I get paralysis by analysis.
Exactly. Yeah,
and I feel overwhelmed straight away, like I
Yeah.
can't achieve that.
Yeah.
So I'm very much like my coaching is very similar to yours.
Yeah.
I provide my clients 2 meal plans. And I say, look, the benefit of these 2 meal plans is, first of all, it's constructed for you, custom to your food preferences. With this, you are absolutely going to lose weight. This is going to give you the opportunity to effortlessly sort of create new habits. And it will also give you an opportunity to basically find out what the habits were that were creating the problem.
100%.
It's like a meal plan. Really, what it does, and you might feel the same, is it's an opportunity for somebody to reflect on what they were doing that wasn't working.
It opens all your flaws.
Yeah,
And even with myself, like when I, on Gold Coast now, just finishing up the bulk, enjoying ourselves. But as soon as I get back on Monday, straight into a deficit, going straight into my fat loss phase before summer hits, I know for a fact I'm going straight on a meal plan because it just gets, and I know a lot of people in the industry don't like meal plans, or they say like it creates toxic or this and that. I think personally that's a load of shit, but we won't go down there.
Yeah.
But because it creates structure, and like I was saying, the more structure someone has, we find better results they get. And you do learn a lot, like you're saying, by following a plan, because it's like a financial plan. If you see a good financial advisor or your accountant and they say, you know what, if you just eat a little bit less Uber Eats, or maybe at one time instead of ordering it, drive there, you're going to save. So you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then it's like, okay, you can do these little things. It shows you the gaps in your plan, where it's like, if the cornettos aren't on your plan, maybe don't buy them because they're not in the freezer, and then you don't, you can't reach it within 3 steps off the couch. It's like, oh, am I really going to go drive down to the shops just to get an ice cream? Oh, I could probably just go to bed.
There you go. And I mean,
100%.
that's what I always say. If you're going to do it, you're just super keen, and maybe I can't help you right now, but controlling your environment for sure.
Yeah.
And well, I mean, I also like to think of a meal plan as it's training wheels. If you want to learn how to ride a bike,
100%.
well, first of all, you're going to have to put the training wheels on so you can find your balance, so you can establish how to actually do it. Then the training wheels come off. And in terms of dieting, or keeping track of your weight management, I would say that taking the training wheels off is when you're like, okay, well, I don't feel like I have to track my calories anymore, or I don't have to weigh my food, because what I learned through the meal plan is better food choices, how to control my habits, how to control my environment.
100%.
It's not something you have. Some people do it for 3 months. Some people do it for 1 month. Some people might want to do it forever because they're like, this is actually, this works for me.
I said, I've been doing it 11 years, and when I go, all right, I want to lose 4 kg of fat before summer, or I'm going into my cut, I still whip up a meal plan for myself.
Go back to your roots.
Yeah, because I can just track calories on the fly, but I've tried. And with me, I don't have I think whatever suits you best, you have to do.
Yeah.
I would just say, if you're someone that's just getting into it, be open-minded though, and try a few different things to see what works. And I'm not saying try whack fad diet bullshit. I'm just saying, try tracking your calories with MyFitnessPal, see if you prefer that.
Yeah.
And then maybe try follow a meal plan and see if that you prefer that. I've done it all, and I just find that having a plan just makes life easier. And as I've gotten older, the more stuff you got going on in your life, it like I said, less decision fatigue. I don't have to think about it. My lunch is already there, ready to go. So if I'm working, I can just, I'm getting hungry, I can stop, eat my lunch. I'm not like, stroll into the pantry, pull out my fitness band. Well, I've got like 900 calories left for the day, and just start, trying to piece something together. And then an hour goes by, I'm like, okay, I could have eaten my lunch, been back working already.
It essentially complements your life and makes it easier.
Yeah, it makes it way easier.
It makes it easier. So what about if you had to give somebody who wasn't achieving results currently or in the past, and they're at the point where they think, you know what, I don't even know if I can, I feel like it's not going to happen for me. What would be some just simple pointers you could give that person to say, you know what, try X, Y, Z, see how you go.
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I'd ask, what have you tried?
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, and we've seen, thousands, I've seen thousands of consult forms over the last decade. So I've seen everything. And a lot of time I first ask, what have you tried? Because it's usually not as much as what people think. I've tried everything. Okay, what have you tried? When you list it out, okay, you've tried like 3 or 4 different things. And most of them were fad diets.
Yeah.
It's like I tried fasting. That didn't work. Why didn't that work? I love breakfast. I love going out for breakfast on the weekend. So then you thought by going out for breakfast on the weekend, fasting doesn't work because you like breakfast. Okay, that's cool. We don't need to fast. You don't need to do that. And what else? I try keto. Well, you love carbs there. We all love carbs. Okay, cool. Let's not do keto. And we kind of like niche it down. It's like, okay, have you tried something that's similar to what your lifestyle looks like now with some better food choices within your calorie confinement? And try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what people don't understand, I think, and it's just due to misleading information that's just getting handballed around the fitness industry and whatnot. But to have success with weight management, you don't have to do anything drastic.
Yeah.
Are there guidelines that you have to follow? Sure. Is there always going to be accountability that you have to some point most of the time? Yes. But when you understand that physically you can lose weight, it's just about making sure that you are in the right lane, you're doing something that suits your personality.
100%.
And like you said, having realistic goals.
I think it usually comes back to that, if I'm honest, because sometimes, again, like I said, you ask a few more questions. When someone said, I've tried it all, hasn't worked. When you do dig a bit deeper, it's like, okay, you have got results in the past. You have lost weight, you have lost fat. You just haven't been able to maintain it. And then the next question is why? What did the plan look like? Or what did your goals look like? And then they're like, well, I thought I was going to drop 10 kilos in a month. And it's like, okay, well, that's where you went wrong, It could be, sometimes it's the simple, obvious things right in front of you. It's like causing the issues. Yep. That's what we find, yeah.
Absolutely. Would you also agree that it's good for people to understand that whatever you do to lose weight, I suppose I'll just rewind this back a little bit. Often I think when people start a weight loss journey in particular, they're always looking for the end, the end line.
Yeah, 1000%.
Whereas it sounds a little bit disheartening, but I'll always explain to my clients, expand your horizon. There's no finish line because essentially what you're doing to lose weight, the habits that you follow for that are actually going to have to be mimicked to maintain weight as well.
100%. And I think it goes back to the first question you said with what do we see, like which people succeed the most? It's the people with those long-term, and they come in, they're like, I want to change my life. And what they mean is like, I want to change my lifestyle habits. I want to feel better. I want to look better. I want to train better. I want to have energy. But when they're saying that, they don't mean I want to do that in the next 8 weeks. They're like, I want to always have more energy. I want to always be a bit lighter because I feel too heavy. I want my clothes to fit good all the time. So those clients with that mindset, they come in, they're like, I don't care how long it takes. I want to get there, and then I want you to show me how to maintain it.
Yeah.
Those are the ones that succeed.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is they usually get faster results as well. So they're thinking further ahead, but their results happen sooner. And that
awesome point
just drills in the trust process of they go, okay, this actually works. So let me just keep doing it. Let's not adjust anything. Let's not get crazy.
Yeah.
And if I have a week where I don't lose any weight, let me ask my coach why. You explain to them it's completely normal. What happened this week? Oh, you had a couple extra social events on, a few business dinners. Totally cool. Hey, guess what? We've already lost 6 kilos in your first 8-9 weeks. If you have a week you don't lose weight, it's cool. We just go back on plan. We keep going.
It's trusting the
process. And they have that long-term mindset. So they're like, yeah, you're right. And they keep going.
For sure. It is. It's trusting the process.
Yeah, 100%.
And I mean, you and I, we've had many, many conversations over the last 12 months. And I think even, what a lot of people don't realize is that, even you and I, we don't claim to know everything. We haven't completely got our lives where we want it to be necessarily. And, we've gone through growth periods ourselves where we've asked other people for help. We've followed programs. We've followed plans for whatever the case may be.
100%.
And I learned this year that, hey, let's drop the ego. Don't know everything. Maybe if I take some advice from somebody who's just much more knowledge-based in that area, if you're willing to learn off people who have got more experience than you, that is
100%.
only a benefit to you. But the bouncing ball must be followed.
Yeah, 1000%. Yeah.
And then once you've got that knowledge, you're set. You're good to go.
1000%. Yeah. And that's how I learned faster, I think. Because at the start, I realized that, like, going all the way back 11 years ago where I first did my PT certs. And I always tell coaches this now that ask me for advice or they're wanting to be a trainer. and they're getting into the industry, I'm like, yeah, I did the PT certs and stuff. But then after that, I realized I actually not even confident to train people yet. And I didn't until I let me learn a lot more. So then I seeked out mentors, coaches, all that stuff. I paid them way more than the PT certs were worth, but it was worth every cent.
Because you learn.
Yeah, and I learned so much faster too.
Yeah.
Because you just, they have the knowledge and you're just paying to get the knowledge from them and absorb it faster.
Yeah.
Same with, what we teach people.
Yeah. Yeah. If you pay for it, absorb the information, follow bouncing ball, you're gonna nail it. Yeah. So mate, for those who don't know you, where can they find Alex Gamble? Where can they go and get that good info, that good content?
Or if you just type in Mitch Little on Instagram, if you just type in Alex Gamble Coach on Instagram, Alex Gamble, any platform really.
Yep, for sure. And look, just from my perspective, I do think there's a lot of misleading information out in the fitness industry. And I think for anybody trying to achieve a result, all we really care about is making sure that you do get there. So if you do want to follow somebody who's going to just give you straight shooting information, to be completely honest, I wouldn't even be sitting in the same room with a person that I didn't believe was doing the right thing. So go drop Alex a follow, and thanks for coming on the show today, mate.
Absolute pleasure.
Boom.